I figured we needed a bit of log practice last ride and realised we've actually only posted training vids on log hops using the punch technique and the pivot turn. There's actually a whole pile of ways to get across logs. I got down to counting them and figured there are at least 20 different techniques, including the double blip, slapper, zap, bash plate slide, the rollover and standing start, just to name a few. Of course, we can't do them all yet, and most we still do with the grace and poise of a dyslexic rhino after a few too many tequilas. But it's probably time to start posting some vids about different log hops, as it's awesome to have a pile of different ways to get over logs, depending on their size, the terrain, how fast you want to do them, and how good your life insurance policy is. For example, with a big log you can still just wheelie onto it and slide over on the bash plate, and if you aren't sure what's on the other side, you can just perch on top, then roll over when you're sure there are no holes or dangerous carnivores on the other side. As I mentioned in a previous vid, Chris Birch gave us some basic tips for tackling steep rock faces and slabs. So after the logs we started heading over to those sections. Gotta say, we are so spoilt for tracks. We just love bits like this little section that feels a bit like a rainforest. And then 30 seconds later it's back to dry rocks and ruts. The variety of terrain is great around here. These climbs have plenty of step-ups in them, which are great practice for keeping balance and traction as they're on steep slopes, and you've got bugger all time to get set up for the next one. After a few runs we felt warmed up enough for some rock faces. No vertical ones yet. Something like this is just steep enough for us. In our coaching, Birchie said the trick is to come in slowly, weight the pegs, then do a controlled drop of the clutch at the base to launch the bike and just coast up the rock face. Obviously, you risk flipping the bike if you use power on the way up.
Drop it, drop it, drop it!
Easy to get into trouble though. Scott cartwheeled his bike back down, so figured we better start spotting for each other. The idea is the guy up top can grab the front wheel, leaving the rider to just bail out safely and not worry about the bike.
Plastic on exhaust pipe from expensive bike pants.
Damn. I figured it's about time too to get a bum bag to carry some tools around in, so I took Andrew's Climb bum bag for a test ride. Worked very nicely with the right sort of music. Rock slabs are also good for developing balancing and braking skills. We recently watched Jarvis riding down seemingly impossible slopes at Würzburg, and if you can balance and brake well, you can get pretty comfortable on some steep descents. Birchie emphasised developing fine rear brake control and trying to not lock up that rear wheel on steep descents unless you actually needed to. This is a fun little climb called Triple Step with 3 rock faces. Always a challenge, as the four-wheel drives like it as well, so it keeps changing as they dig new holes on the way up. So another great ride. They always are when they don't end up in hospital. And I better get in the usual beta rave. This RR300 is such a brilliant bike. I can see what all the rave reviews are about. I love my red Italiano princess.